Namaste. Hi, I'm Jen, and I'm here to give you a Christmas Eve meditation. It's Christmas Eve 2020, and we have been doing some meditation videos over the course of the year. So, pretty much since COVID-19 came and showed itself to us earlier this year in April. I've taken to the screen to offer some guidance. So the last few sessions over the last few weeks, if you've been with me, we've been studying the yamas and the niyamas. So the do's and don'ts, the like yogic moral code. It's teachings to enable you to live a more peaceful, balanced life in harmony with the world, and in harmony with yourself. If you're watching this for the first time, then absorb what you hear today, and you may feel drawn to go back and listen to the other ones that I've done over the course. But yeah, we're on the last one, the last niyama, so the things to do. And number 5 is Ishwari Pranidhana. So Ishwari Pranidhana, it's actually means to surrender your life. Surrender your life to the universe, to God, if you will. So whatever you see as the divine source of our existence, however you like to term it, whether it's energy, spirit, universe, cosmos, God, whatever you like to term it all, the higher self, if you don't see it that way and you just feel like it's a part of you and it's this higher version of yourself, then it's about surrendering to that higher part of us, this higher force that isn't the mind, this force that comes from through the heart. And it really helps us to live at ease when we surrender instead of resist. So the opposite to surrender is to resist, to control. So quite often when we are going about our life, we come into this constricted view of what our life should look like, what it should be like, what we should be doing, who we should be with, and we need to be married, we need to have the house, we need to have the children, we need to have this job, and all these sorts of box-like conditions that we put on our existence, and we try to control that. And quite often what we perceive in our minds that is right for us can be different to what the universe has in store for us. And it's not always the case. Like if you're if you've always been connected to your higher self and to a universal guidance, then you might have found it quite easy to live in line with your dharma, as we call it in yoga, so your path, your purpose. But if you haven't been in touch with that side of yourself, or that side of our existence, then there can be some conflict, and we resist. So we have in our minds, and we have all this conditioning from our upbringing about where we want our life to go, and so and in doing so we resist the desires of the universal force. So this other guidance, this higher self, what the universe actually wants for us and what has in store. So when we resist and we create this type of control, it causes suffering, because we can't be content, because we're not actually living the path that we're meant to be living. So we feel discontent, we feel yucky, we can get stuck in our anger and resentment because we keep hitting roadblocks. So when we are trying to force a certain path upon ourselves that isn't actually right for us, or perhaps forcing upon other people, we hit roadblocks and things get hard and things go wrong. And that's a sign. These are signs that, okay, perhaps I need to do something different. And perhaps I need to let go of that desire for this particular outcome, for this particular path. So I can give an example with my own personal life that for some time I had things set out a certain way in my mind as how I wanted my life to go, and I was so committed to that, so committed, and I I gave it my all. I put everything into trying to get this outcome in my personal life, with my relationships, and then bam, something happens, and things start to get hard, and I realize that, okay, maybe this isn't right. Maybe this vision, this ideal that I've had in my mind for all these years, maybe that's just not it, and this isn't where I'm meant to be going in my life at all, and I've got it all wrong. And I surrendered to what started to happen, and I surrendered to the changes that were occurring within myself, within my relationship, and I decided to let go of controlling and to really just start to embrace what was starting to happen. And in doing so, I realized that that although it was a really hard thing to do, it wasn't easy at the time to change my course. So it was pretty much from going this way to suddenly an about turn and going that way instead, because it was just, there was no ignoring it anymore. The universe was just like, yeah, you got to stop heading that way. It's not serving you. And the more I tuned in to listening to, okay, what does it look like if I change and I go this way? There was a lot of fear, but I put my trust into it, and I surrendered. So in my meditations, I would be like, okay, if this is what you want for me, universe, God, whoever you sort of talk to, then you need to help me. And I asked for help, and I surrendered, and I trusted it, and I put my complete trust that if this is meant for me and this is how the universe wants things to turn out, then I will be taken care of and things will work out. And you know what? It did. And I'm so much happier, and I'm so much more in tune with myself and with my purpose. So my yoga path, my service to others, and how I can be helpful to people and help them to heal on their own personal journeys of their lives and their own inner work. So it can be scary, and at the same time really liberating, and it really comes back to finding stillness within your life. So when we're distracted by the noise of the world and the busyness, so the constant schedules and the no downtime, we don't have any opportunity to listen to the quiet whispers of the universe that is actually there all the time, trying to guide us, trying to steer us to where we're meant to be going. And if you can find that time every day for a little bit of stillness, so it can be a meditation, it could be a quiet walk on the beach, walking the dog, a swim, anything where you close off from the outer distractions and you're just with yourself, just with you. And then those whispers, those silence, those quiet voices, those little affirmations will start to come through, and it's an intention. So it's an intention of letting go of controlling your life and surrendering to what is meant to be. And it really does allow you to relax and let go. So let going of the control of the outcome. So we might think, all right, I'm going to do this, and I want it to turn out this way, and I want this person to turn out this way because I'm helping them, because I'm doing this. And you can't control the outcome. You can't control what another person's journey is, or how a relationship with another person is going to turn out. And ultimately, everything is set up to flow in a certain way. And it's like there's two paths, there's three paths, there's four paths to get to the same destination ultimately. So it's like, what are we going to choose? Are we going to go with the way that is already lined up for us and choose to surrender to that path, or are we going to resist and go the hard way and take all the bumps and the humps and the dips and get there again eventually, but in a much more difficult way. That's good language, isn't it? So I hope that makes sense. And this attitude of surrendered to your life can then also come into your meditation. So when we try to control our meditation and have an expectation of the outcome of the meditation, so we want to find that no thought, that stillness, that piece of silence that I've been striving for, and when we get too focused on that, that creates a block. So there's going to be no peace. You're going to feel like you're failing because you're not achieving the meditation that you set out for, and it sets you up to not receive the blessings of a peaceful meditation. So we want to surrender ourselves into the meditation, that it is what it is. And even if your mind is busy, if you're staying with your mantra, then you are actually creating a very strong mind, because despite the thoughts coming and going, you have fixated on a one-pointed concentration. You've fixated on your mantra, you've fixated on your breath, despite the mind. And you're noticing then the separation between your mind and yourself, so that you see this mind is a tool that is within us, and it's there always calculating, planning, wanting something to do, because it's always wanting to be busy and doing something. But you recognize that when you're with your breath and with your mantra, that's you, that's yourself staying in the moment. And if you can just stick with that, even when you get distracted. So you might start thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner tonight, and the mind say, hey, come on, you need to know what you're doing tonight for dinner. And you can acknowledge it. So I'm not saying you just ignore these thoughts that are coming in. It's more, okay, I know I need to fix dinner up for tonight, but now's not the time. So it's like you're talking to that part of yourself, this mind, and you're saying, let's think about that later. Because if we try and push out our thoughts and suppress them, they get louder and it gets even more distracting. So we give it a little bit of attention. Okay, yep, I was thinking about dinner. Yep, I do need to plan dinner. But right now, this is my meditation time. So I'll think about dinner after my meditation. Or it could be something else. So maybe you've had an argument with someone and you want to resolve it, and it's coming in. What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? So, okay, I know I need to resolve that. I hear you, mind. But right now I'm meditating, and I'll come back to that at the end of my meditation. So it will take practice. This isn't easy. And this is all part of training your mind, training yourself to not be a victim of your own mind, so that you can live from your heart and live from this higher version of yourself, live through the guidance of the universe, so that your mind becomes a tool when it surrenders to you, so that you are the master. And the mind makes a great slave, but it makes a terrible master. So it will run amok when we let it take over. And we want to be the master and let the mind be the slave to our heart, so that we use it as a tool and we can listen to it, because the mind has fantastic ways at letting us know when there's a threat. And we need to have those fears rise up so we can reevaluate and rationalize. But ultimately, we don't want to base our choices on fear. We want to acknowledge, okay, this is scary. This might be, there might be some risks involved in this, and I need to be prepared and set myself up to be protected from these risks if they do eventuate. But I'm going to feel the fear, and I'm going to do these things anyway, because I'm guided to, because this is what the universe wants. And sometimes and a lot of the time for me, I can get quite indecisive, because I can get confused. Okay, is it the universe telling me to do this, or is it my mind? And it can get confusing, and it takes a lot of practice. And my experience personally, it can be different for everyone, is often it's the first thing that comes into my mind, the first intuition, the quieter one, that is the right thing to do. And it's the second argument that I get within myself. So, oh, hang on, maybe I shouldn't do that. maybe da-da-da-da. And the voice to counteract my first intuition can be a lot louder, and that starts to take me away from what I originally thought, and I think I need to change my mind, and I think I need to change my plans, and then that creates confusion and blockages, and then I can't hear the whispers of the heart because my mind's got too loud. So it's like remembering, okay, I've got my mind, I can listen, I can take some time to maybe write down these two choices that I have, and come back to, I always like to come back to, okay, what did I think of first, and why do I need to come back to that? And it's usually because it's just a feeling, and I trust my feelings so much more now than I trust my mind. And it's not to say I don't make mistakes, I still do, and I can get caught up in the mind as easy as anyone else, but I find that I'm much quicker to become aware and notice, okay, I should have listened, the simple things like taking the washing in. So I'll get the intuition to, okay, it's going to rain probably, so you better get that washing in. And then my mind will say, oh no, finish what you're doing now, do that later, blah, blah, blah. And then lo and behold, it starts raining and my washing's wet. So that's very simple, but there's much bigger things that we can use these techniques for. But that's just a little example. So yeah, surrendering to the inner self, to the heart, to the universal cosmos, and ultimately we're here to serve, we're here to help, we're here to love, we're here to build relationships and help each other, have fun with each other and love each other. So if we can surrender to the joy in life, so the simple things, there's so much stuff in life that's free, that is joyful and loving, and we don't need to spend money and accumulate all these things to find happiness. So the attitude of surrender for Christmas is what I really want you to embody, and for the year coming forward. So surrendering to what 2020 has been for you, and it's in the past now. We're coming to the end of this year, and learning from any mistakes that you may have made, and acknowledging that perhaps this year didn't go at all how you thought it would, and that's okay, because there's grander plans, there's stuff out there that is meant for us that we have no idea about. Like, I never knew I was going to be a yoga teacher. Never in my wildest dreams thought that was going to happen for me. And even when I was doing the teacher training, no, I won't be a teacher. It's funny. So there's other plans out there that we just don't even know. And if we just let go of control, let go of resisting, and just be happy with what is, it becomes so much easier. Life becomes easier, and we find that peace within. So and again, coming back to meditation. So even when you're having a real dodgy meditation, just surrendering to, okay, this is what it is today, and that's okay, because I still need this. Even though my meditation might not be that peaceful today, I still need it. I'm still getting the benefits from my pranayama, my breathing techniques. I'm still aligning myself with the mantra and the vibration that mantra gives me. And I'm training my mind. So it's taking time for my mind to recognize that this time is for me. And it will, over time, it will get easier, and the mind will get more accustomed to, okay, this is meditation time, and I will give you that peace. And it starts to obey. It starts to obey over time. And if we can use our meditation to just give up any control today. So when we meditate together today, we'll let go of 2020. We'll surrender to what it has been. And we'll let go of any expectations for 21. So we have no idea what 21 has in store for us. And we can't control the future. We can plan. We can have some ideas and some visions. and we can start to perhaps align ourselves with what we think is meant to happen and how we want it to go, and we can definitely try to follow our dreams, but ultimately we have to surrender to the present moment, because this is the only thing that's real. And the more we enjoy and surrender to each present moment, the future just takes care of itself. Paramahansa Yogananda has said, let go of the past, for it no longer exists. And let go of planning the future, because that is yet to exist. So the only thing that really truly exists is the now. And if you take care of the now, then the future will naturally take care of itself. So those are not his words exactly, but that's his ethos. And let's continue to do our best. So all we can do is our best. Just do our best, and let's not get down on ourselves when things don't go to plan, and just understand, okay, the universe didn't want that for me today. So if someone doesn't want to come along with you to something, then that's okay. You're meant to go on your own. That's fine. So it's a really beautiful way to live. And if this is something that's new to you, then just give it a practice, give it a whirl, and see if it works for your own scientists on this aspect of living. So Ishwara Pranidhana, surrendering. And the fruits of this, by the way, there's always a fruit to embodying these teachings, and the fruit is that you will actually find samadhi. So samadhi is bliss, it's peace, it's that stillness where you actually come into a place of utter pure existence. So if you've ever been to a yoga class and you've had a really beautiful experience at the end of Shavasana, at the end of your class they do Shavasana, the relaxation. If you've had a moment where you've just gone, whoa, where you don't know where you are, you've just entered into a state of pure being, bliss, peace, you're not asleep, you're not really awake, it's this, that is samadhi, that is what we're all yearning for, and that's come through your surrender, through your practice, to your yoga practice, to your surrender to yourself and your relaxation. And we can get it through our meditation too. So it's being concentrated on the mantra and the breathing techniques, and also surrendering. So there's that relaxation of effort. It's a practice, and it will be constant for you, and there'll be days that are easier than others, and it's that middle path. So we have the concentration and the applied effort with our techniques, but we relax about the mind and what it's doing, and we give it its little bit of attention, and then we draw ourselves back in here every time. And when you just surrender and let go, it'll come, and it will be beautiful. And it may be just for a fraction, and it'll get easier. And I often find group meditations are so much easier to grasp that little bit of samadhi. So let's go to more group meditations, or do the videos, those sorts of things, to help you along with your path on that. So I hope that you can take this through Christmas and surrender to what Christmas is. It might not be what you planned, it might not be the Christmas that you hope for, especially if you're in the UK and you're going through lockdown, or down south in southern Australia, but we can't control it. So enjoy what you do have, come into that place of gratitude for what you do have, and the pleasure of just being around your close loved ones. So let's enter our meditation now. Today's mantra will be Om Shanti. You can use your mala beads if you choose to, or just have your palms facing up with your thumb and your forefinger touching. Eyes closed down, and you can find a comfortable position so your spine is tall yet still a little bit relaxed. The arms and the shoulders are soft. The breath is soft. ujjayi breath. So that is the partial closure in the throat where we create a little bit of constriction, making the breath sound like the ocean. It is almost like you're about to snore, but you don't. So we'll take that deep ujjayi breath in through the nose. Hold at the heart. And exhale all the way out. Navel draws in. And then the belly releases as we take the inhale. Hold. And exhale. And now we'll divide our next inhale into 3 parts. So we inhale a third into the solar plexus, spreading the belly. And then another third into the heart, spreading the ribs. And then all the way taking your attention to the spiritual eye. Exhale fully. Inhale to belly and hold. Inhale to heart and hold. Inhale to spiritual spiritual eye. So holding and soothing long breath out. Once more, inhale to solar plexus, hold. Inhale to heart. Inhale spiritual eye. Hold for a little longer if you can. And then in your own time, let the breath seep out slowly. And now breathe naturally, so there's no effort or control. Keep your inner gaze at the spiritual eye, that point between the eyebrows. So you'll keep needing to remind yourself to do that, and that's okay. So just lifting it up whenever you notice it's gone. You might notice some beautiful colours behind your closed eyes. There might be just darkness, or there might be some brightness, some shapes. And we'll begin our mantra. So Om Shanti, I've chosen this mantra for peace. So let's bring peace into our hearts for Christmas time, and just remembering that the story of Jesus and how he came to earth to bring peace. We can just remember that ultimately all we want for our own happiness is peace within our hearts, and by surrendering to this world and to our lives and to the guidance of the cosmos, then we allow ourselves to be more likely to receive that peace, to feel at peace. We can also use this mantra to help the world find peace. So bringing in the mantra with each breath. So Om on the inhale and Shanti on the exhale. You may like to enjoy a little pause between the breaths. I find these pauses between the breaths invite a spontaneous moment of stillness in the mind, a lot more easier. So you will need to practice. It takes time to lengthen out those pauses with the practice of your breathing. It will happen over time. But inhaling to Om, exhale Shanti. So we'll continue with the mantra for a few more moments in silence. If you're using the beads, then you can do one breath cycle on one mantra to each bead. If you'd rather do Om Shanti to the inhale and Om Shanti to the exhale, then that's fine too. You make it work for you. So these are guidances, but you make it personal for your practice. go of the mantra now. And if you need to, you can take a few more deep Ujjayi breaths. And just enjoy a few moments with no mantra, the natural breath now, just allowing yourself to be the witness, so you can see that you're the seer, the observer, listener to the thoughts, but you're not the thoughts, you're not the mind. As you surrender yourself into this moment, just accepting everything as it is right now, accepting this meditation as it is right now, accepting the thoughts if they're present. You feel a peace. You feel like the burden has dissolved. You surrender. You surrender your whole self to the spiritual eye and keep that fixed gaze, opening the portal to your higher self, to that connection with the cosmos, with the universe. And there was a reading that I found this week, and I don't have it with me right now, but it was along the lines of everything in life is temporary. So when things are good, recognize that. Be grateful for the good times and embrace them. And when times are not so good, understand that that too is temporary, and that good times will soon be on the way again. So life has the yin and the yang, the ups and the downs, and we surrender to the ups and the downs, and we ride them like the waves of the ocean with more ease when we resist them, when we don't resist them. Allowing ourselves to flow with the breeze, flow with the ocean, flow with the universal life force that is guiding us through life. Bringing the palms together now at the heart. Setting your intention to let go of 2020. It can be a good time to write something down. If there's something that you're really finding hard to let go of, then after this meditation or at another time, you may like to write this thing down and burn it. Have another prayer and this intention setting for letting go of that. And then we focus our pure intentions on surrendering to what is meant for us, what is the will of the universe, will from our higher self. And when we align ourselves with that universal guidance, that's when the peace and the happiness is more likely to come. We'll experience a joyful, blissful experience. And I have gratitude for all of 2020, its ups and its downs, and all that we've learnt, all that we've gained, all that we've lost. Thank you for joining me for this meditation and these teachings, and I wish you a very peaceful Christmas. May you find the true essence of Christmas and find a little bit of time for yourself. I offer great respect and gratitude for all the ancient teachings of yoga by all the greatest masters. Let's do the Om sound together, rubbing the palms. Sending our universal energy out to the world. Hands come back to the heart. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So feel free to continue meditating for longer and open your eyes whenever you're ready. So I'd like to just thank again for anybody that has been following me through these videos and for your commitment to your journey on this path. Another fruit of this teaching and the other teachings is that when you truly surrender to this style of living and the universal guidance, quite often our deepest desires will actually come to us, and especially obviously if they align with the will of the universe too. So I'm not talking about perhaps getting a new car, things like that, but I'm talking about more internal desires. So but yeah, things happen, miracles start to happen, and trust it. And I hope that 2021 is a brighter, happier year for everybody. And I do really feel that there's a big shift going on in the ether at the moment. We had a big meditation the other night for the Christmas star, and there was a lot of people in the world meditating at that time for the solstice, and I felt a shift. I'm feeling more connected again. I feel the dark energy is starting to lift. So keep meditating. You're doing your bit for yourself, but you're also doing your bit for the world. So keep it up. And Merry Christmas. Namaste. Drop me a line. Let me know that you've enjoyed the video if you can. Thank you. Bye.